I'm tired of the hate that Darby Allin is getting from anti-AEW fans. I'm here in this video to tell you why he is a great fighting champion and also that AEW is great at long-term storytelling. Welcome back, everybody, to Screw to Script. I'm your host, as always, Maverick here. Thanks for joining me on this Thursday. Let's get right into it. My claim at the beginning about Darby Allin. I'm seeing a lot of hate towards Darby Allin. We'll actually get into it as a part of my DDT segment at the end of the video, but it needs to stop. AEW's fighting champion, Darby Allin, just put on a banger of a match against Tommaso Ciampa last night on Dynamite. Dynamite was yet again the best pro wrestling show of the week. We all know it's better than everything over in WWE. Let's not get into that too much in this video. We're going to talk about AEW and Darby Allin. First off, look at that card that we got.
Wow.
Just another weekly episode of Dynamite. Nothing to see here other than great ass pro wrestling. Because this is what AEW gives you. It is where the best wrestle. It is where pro wrestling is emphasized, highlighted, underlined twice. You get the point. Pro wrestling lives here in AEW. And you and I are big AEW fans. That's why you're part of the STS Society. If you're new here, like, comment, subscribe to my channel to be a part of the STS Society, to go against all these AEW haters. We had Darby Allin and Ciampa, which I'll get to in a moment. Will Ospreay versus Mark Davis. Mina versus Shida. Samoa Joe returned, which was a nice surprise. Lio Rush and Brody King. It was another really good episode of Dynamite. Let's go over the other things real quick. Ospreay and Davis was my second favorite match of the night. I thought it was going to be my favorite match of the night until the main event. Ospreay was stopped, though. He could not go any further, and the doctor on ringside said that the match had to stop. A very interesting way to end this match. And even more interesting to note, he was carried out by the Death Riders. I'm not quite sure what they plan on doing. Some people are saying they rescued him and they're over their beef with Will Ospreay. I think more so they're taking him to question him. We'll see where that goes, but hey, long-term storytelling starting with that. And another example, which I'll get to in a few moments, is even more long-term storytelling. Mina and Shida, interesting women's match. Shida picked up the win after she fooled Mina with the kendo stick. And even Chris Statlander ringside was a little bit fooled. I think we might get a Shida heel turn. Samoa Joe returned. The Ops are back to full strength, well, minus Powerhouse Hobbs, who is now on skis. Samoa Joe, seeing him in action was great. I'm curious where he's going to go. Then we had Lio Rush versus Brody King. Brody King beat Lio Rush in about a 10-minute match. You see the cage match ratings right up there. That is the ratings that you see consistently with AEW because they know how to put on a pro wrestling show. Now, let's get into the main chunk of this video. Darby Allin and Tommaso Ciampa put on a fucking banger. Oh my god. That was added to my match of the year list. I think that list has about 12, 13 matches, somewhere around there. And only one or two of them are from outside of AEW. Now, you could call me an AEW sicko. I don't care. I generally feel like this was a match of the year contender. You see screenshots there. Darby Allin coming out on top at the end, just masterclass of a match. And honestly, here's my Maverick moment. I haven't done these in a little while. I'm bringing them back, at least for my Thursday videos for Dynamite, and maybe I'll do it for my weekend videos, which I'm actually going to switch to Sundays. I think it just makes more sense to cover Collision if I make a video on Sunday. So maybe I'll do Maverick moments twice a week. Here's a Maverick moment from Dynamite.
The Psycho Driller!
It's crazy that Darby Allin can take this kind of punishment and just continue, especially at his smaller stature. Yes, he is a smaller guy, but he is one tough son of a bitch. How many of you watching right now would get up from that? It's incredible, the resilience that Darby Allin shows. He beats Ciampa in a fantastic first title defense. And I think that match last night should shut up all of the naysayers towards Darby Allin that we're seeing on the internet. Everyone's saying that he's too small, he can't carry the weight of the belt because the belt's half his size, all these insults. They can shove it. Darby Allin is a better fighting champion already than any champion that we see over in WWE. And not only that, but we have some long-term storytelling coming from this. As you saw Brody King at the end of this match come out, and now it's official next Wednesday, the 29th, he's facing Brody King for another AEW championship defense. We all know where this is going. Darby Allin is going to have banger defenses, a few of them at least, before he ultimately loses it. I'm standing by it that I don't, in my gut, feel like he's going to hold on to that belt for a very long time. But it'll be short and sweet. It's quality over quantity amounts of defenses and days that he's going to hold the belt because, again, if they keep going like the match that he had against Tommaso Ciampa, if next week him and Brody go at it like that, it is going to be a generational title run for Darby Allin. But long-term storytelling, here are all the matches that these two have had prior. They've had 4 other run-ins one-on-one. I was actually at the Quake by the Lake coffin match, and it is actually my favorite match between the two of them still to this day. That was one of my favorite matches I've ever seen live at any pro wrestling show. Beautifully done at the end, if you guys remember the match where Darby Allin was choking out Brody King with the chain over the top rope, and he falls perfectly into the coffin for Darby to close it. It was a phenomenal match. These two are going to put on a great match. It'll probably be match of the week. Most weeks are. Pretty much every single week for as long as I can remember. My favorite wrestling match of the week always goes to AEW because it is where the best wrestle. Afterwards, Tommaso Ciampa even had some great words to say for Darby Allin. He said that he sees Darby Allin, he encountered his wrestling soulmate, is how he puts it. I have a hunch we will be doing this many more times over the next decade. Thank you, AEW. Thank you, Portland. Thank you, Darby. Mark my words, it may not be this month. It may not be this year. Hell, it may not even be in 2027. But there will come a time when I hold the AEW World title. Tommaso Ciampa, such a damn good addition to this roster. He fits right in. Thank you, both of you, for putting on that phenomenal match. Another big topic that I want to talk about was actually what opened the show. We saw MJF come out, his generational crash out that he's having right now, wanting that belt back, calling Darby a cheat, saying he'll upload him. Hilarious stuff by MJF. Such good talent on the mic. Kevin Knight comes out, and he was my breakout wrestler of the year, I believe. He was my breakout wrestler of the year for my first ever Maverick medals, and this is further proving that, because look at what he's doing here. He's already TNT champ early in 2026, 2-time AEW Trios champ, and he got under the skin of MJF. And I really think Kevin Knight, now he's not even 30. He's actually a few years younger than MJF. I believe he's 27, 28, somewhere around there. He has got such poise, such charisma, a lot of confidence on the mic. I really, really like Kevin Knight. And he got under the skin of MJF. He went toe-to-toe with him on the mic, and I'd say he did pretty damn good. And now we are going to see MJF versus Kevin Knight for the TNT title. And again, more long-term storytelling in an AEW. I'm tired of people saying they don't know how to do it. Because MJF on here, he retweets this, I believe. Something that Darby Allin, quote, said in 2021, "I don't need the world title. The TNT title is the big one to me." So it's like MJF is trying to get under Darby Allin's skin. Now, it's just such good television that we're seeing from AEW week in and week out. Here it is, the card, at least the announced card for Playoff Palooza this Saturday. Collision is going back to Saturday, although I really liked having it on Thursdays. Just back-to-back AEW is awesome. But back to their scheduled time on Saturday. Look at this chaos. Palooza is definitely the right word. You've got these 3 big tag team matches. You got Jericho and the Hurt Syndicate was his partners that he found backstage versus The Demand. That trademarked shirt that Jericho has, hilarious, by the way. Then you got Tekla and Sky Blue versus Persephone and Windsor. You've got the Conglomeration versus the Don Callis family. You've got Jack Perry and El Clone for that national championship. That's going to be match of the night, I think. You got the Rascals and the Bucks versus the Death Riders and the Dogs. It looks like the Dogs are just going to have these feuds going on right now with the Bucks and the Rascals until we see Gabe Kidd at full health. They got to get those titles back when they are. It was a damn shame that they had to lose it after a day. Roosh versus Adam Priest. They're going to have FTR on the mic and then Chris Statlander in action. Another stacked collision. And now to close out the video, I have a very interesting DDT for you. And here is that DDT. Once again, coming full circle with the start of the video about Darby Allin. People claiming that he's just not that great of a wrestler. This person, I'm not going to attempt to say the name right now because it's really long. Imagine having this guy as your world champ and this guy. One looks like a true guy and the other one as a little-sized emo. What the fuck is AEW doing? He goes on to say, first off, I'm sorry, but Darby Allin has a laundry list of pro wrestling moves that he can do in his arsenal. Every single match that he puts on, yes, he's got his classics. He's got the coffin drop. He's got the code red. He's got his springboard arm drag that he does. He's got the standing diamond dust that he does, which is that reversal diamond cutter sort of stunner sort of thing is what he calls it. All kinds of stuff. He's got the basement drop kick that he does, a cannonball suicida, a coffin splash that he does to people on the outside of the ring, the crucifix bomb. I mean, I've seen him do a crossroads. He's done the drop in is what he calls it on his skateboard. Such unique arsenal. I could go on with like 10 more moves off the top of my head. What do you get with Roman Reigns? Spear, Superman punch, drive-by, Samoan drop. That's it. I can only think of 4 moves off the top of my head. And then maybe some generic-ass moves that every wrestler does, like a clothesline or a drop kick. You get the point. A shoulder tackle. He is not as good of a pro wrestler as Darby Allin is. I'm sorry. I hate to break it to you, this person on the DDT for this video, but it's the damn truth. Darby Allin is a fighting champion because, look, he just had a fucking banger of a match, barely escaping Tommaso Ciampa, and then the very next week, he's facing Brody King, a guy who's literally twice his size. You don't see Roman Reigns do that. You have never seen Roman Reigns do that. You never will see Roman Reigns do that. And Darby Allin has more moves in his pocket than Roman Reigns can hit in his entire arsenal because, like I've said before, over in WWE, it seems like everybody is watered down and has like a collective maybe 10 moves max because that is just their formula. So for all those reasons, that is why you are this video's DDT. That's all I had in this episode of Screw the Script. Let me know down below if you agree on my claim about Darby Allin being a fighting champion. How did you like his first ever defense against Tommaso Ciampa? What do you expect from his second defense against Brody King next week? What are you looking forward to the most off of Playoff Palooza for Collision this upcoming Saturday? And let me know anything else you would like to let me know down below. Real quick to close out this video, for that person that keeps hacking my channel, I'm going to call your bluff. You say that you're going to send me something by mail. I don't know how in the hell you got my address, but I'm calling you out. Let's see it actually happen. I'll be checking my mailbox daily. We'll see if you actually send me anything. As always, this has been Maverick of Screw the Script. Thanks for watching.